Hi everyone, welcome back to our story, The Adventures of the Wishing Chair. So last time, in the last chapter, we came across a bit of a problem because Peter and Molly's mum, found out about the wishing chair. She saw it and they were about to sell it, but just as Peter and Molly and Pixie found a little bit of a solution so they didn't have to sell it, Mum decided that she would like the chair in the living room. So that's posed a little bit of a problem because we don't want Mum to know it's a magic chair because the children might not be able to go on any more adventures, and we also don't want Mum to find out about Pixie. So I'm wondering what's going to happen now in this chapter. How are they going to convince Mum not to keep the chair in the living room? So this chapter, chapter 19, is called Two Bad Children. I wonder if that's going to be Molly and Peter we're talking about here, or other children, who knows? Let's see. Two Bad Children. Molly and Peter were very upset. Mother had got their wishing chair in the living room, and if it grew its wings there, the grown-ups might see them, and then their great secret would be out. What are they going to do? Chinky the Pixie had no ideas, and he always had ideas. He simply didn't know how to get the chair back into the playroom. If they just took it back, Mother would notice and would bring it back to the house again. Peter and Molly thought very hard about how they were going to get the chair back to the playroom, and at last Molly thought she had an idea. She and Peter ran down to the playroom to tell their Pixie. "This is my idea," said Molly. "It's a bit of a naughty one, and we might get into trouble, but I don't see how we can help it. After all, it is our chair, we need it back." "OK, go on, tell us your plan," said Peter. "OK," said Molly. "Let's spill things all over the chair and tear the seat or something, make a mess of it, we'll scratch the legs. Then, when Mother sees how dirty and scratched and torn the chair is, she won't think it's good enough for the living room, and perhaps she'll want to throw it out and we can have it back again." "That's a really good idea," said Peter. Chinky the Pixie nodded too. "But we're going to get into trouble," said Peter. "You know, Mother hates to see us make a mess, and that's why we have to do this at the bottom of the playroom at the bottom of the garden, so that we can do it and not spoil things in the living room. We can't mess up the house too." "Well, even if we do get into trouble, it will be worth it if we get our chair back," said Molly. "I don't mind being punished if it means that we can go on more adventures." "All right," said Peter. "I don't really mind either. What shall we do first?" "Well, why don't we spill some ink across the seat?" said Molly. "The ink won't come out." "Come on then," said Peter. So they shouted goodbye to the Pixie, who wished them good luck, and they ran up to the house. They went into the study. The wishing chair stood there, looking very good and proper. Mother had put a fine new cushion onto the top of the chair. Molly took that out right away. She didn't want to spoil anything that belonged to Mum. Peter got the ink bottle out, and the two children emptied ink across the seat of the chair. Then they went to tell Mother. She was cross. "How very, very careless of you," she said. "You are not going out after tea today, Molly and Peter. I'm very annoyed at you. Just as well that ink didn't go onto my new cushion, but it's went onto the chair." Molly and Peter looked at each other and said nothing. They did not go out after tea that night, and they were very sad about it, but they kept thinking that maybe it would be worth it if they got their wishing chair back, so they didn't get too unhappy. The next day, Peter sat in the wishing chair and kicked his boots against the legs as hard as he could, so that they were scratched and dented. Mother heard him kicking and popped her head into the living room to see what they were doing. "Peter," she cried, "why aren't you out in the garden on this fine day, and stop kicking your feet against that chair? What have you done? You've made a mess." She ran over to the chair and looked at the legs. They were totally scratched. That's very naughty, Peter, said Mum. Yesterday you and Molly spilled ink all over that chair, and now you've kicked it all. Do you know, you can go to your room for the rest of the day. Poor Peter. He went very red. He was embarrassed and upset, but he marched upstairs without a word. It was horrid to have to be so careless to the chair that they loved, but somehow they knew that it was the only way to get it back. Imagine it grew its wings when Mother was sitting in it, and it flew away with her. What would she do? She would be so frightened. So the children had to look after her too. Molly was sorry that Peter had been sent up to his room. She crept into his bedroom and gave him a piece of chocolate to eat. I'm going to slit the seat now, cried Molly. I expect her to be sent to my room too, but maybe after Mum sees that the chair isn't good enough, we'll get it back again. So Molly went downstairs and took her work basket into the living room. She got out some scissors and began to cut out some doll's clothes. And then, oh dear, she ran her scissors into the seat of the chair and made a big cut out of the material. Mother came in and she saw the slit in the chair. She stared in horror. Molly, why did you do that? Oh, sorry, Mum, it was me. Then you're just as bad as Peter. Right, go to your room. This chair is simply dreadful now. It's got ink on it, it's torn, and it's all scratched down the legs. It'll have to go back to the playroom. I can't have it in the living room looking like that. You two children have been really bad today, and I'm very ashamed. It was dreadful to see Mother so cross. They never get into trouble, the children. Molly cried when she got into her room, but she was comforted to know that the wishing chair was going back to the playroom. She and Peter had to stay in their rooms all day and night, and they were a bit tired of it. But they knew it was worth it if they were getting their chair back. When the next day came, they carried the chair back to their playroom and called Chinky the Pixie. We've got the chair back, they cried. Hooray! But we did get into trouble. We both had to go to our rooms for the day, and Mum was so cross with us. We shall have to be extra nice to her now to make up, because we didn't really mean to. We didn't want to be mean. We really love Mum, and we don't want her to be upset with us. But we had to get the chair back. Oh, I'm so pleased, cried Chinky. He looked at the chair. Oh, my word, you did lots of damage to it. What a mess. You've got to go and get your needle and cotton and we'll mend the seat. And Peter, we better polish up the leg and hide those scratches. The poor chair. So that morning, the children and the Pixie worked hard, and by dinner time, the chair looked much, much better. Molly put the cushion back, and then she clapped her hands for joy. Oh, dear old wishing chair. It's so nice to have you back again. Mr. Twisty nearly got you, and then Mum nearly got you too, but now we've got you back at last. And I'm longing for another adventure, said Peter. Oh, I wish it would grow its wings just now. We've not been away in ages. Oh, don't be careful what you wish for. It will soon, said Chinky. I expect it wants another adventure as much as we do. And that is the end of that chapter. So, luckily for the children and Pixie, they managed to get the chair back, although they did manage to get in a bit of trouble with Mum. But maybe for them it was worth it because they could keep their wishing chair. But poor Mum thinks that they were being a bit naughty, when actually they were just trying to look out for the chair, weren't they? So that is the end of that chapter, and maybe next time we'll get another adventure because that's what the children are wanting to. So I will see you back for the next chapter, which will be in chapter 20. See you then. Bye for now.